See, when I do the countdown, I get in trouble. I'm sitting here with my countdown like 5, 4, 3, 2, and then the FBI comes knocking at my door.
What is it you pray for?
Oh, this is gonna be good.
Greetings, salutations, and welcome to the 120th episode of Abyssal Musings. My name is Samuel the Infamous, and with me is my co-host and partner, Lawrence Knight.
What's up?
Oh, not too much, not too much. Getting over a virus, so that's fun.
Yeah, I spent the last 2 weeks getting over one. I mean, I was on Iron Oxide's show last week, and man, I've never hit the mute button to spit up and cough and so many times in my life, and it got to the point where even Selena was like, "What do you think about this, Larry?" Because she was like, "You're being real quiet," and I had to message her. I was like, "Hey, I was like, I've been sick for like 2 weeks."
Yeah, yeah. I actually caught that episode. It was pretty good. So yeah, I'm glad. I'm glad you're starting to feel better. I only got sick a couple of days. So I was over on Devil's Channel, Beelzehub, the other day. Because we were trying to finish up that Keanu Reeves movie ranking that we started like a month ago, and then that tree fell and knocked out all of the power and internet in his neighborhood for like 12 hours,
Oh,
right in the
woo.
middle of that. So we had to wait until everybody was able to show up again. So during the course of uh, that live stream, I started to feel like worse and worse and worse. I felt great during the day, right? But I started to feel worse and worse and worse. And by the time midnight came around, well after the live stream was over, I'm just like, oh fuck, I'm gonna be sick tomorrow. And lo and behold, I was. So it is what it is. Um, but yeah, let's say hello to the chat real quick, and then we can get into the show here. We got Lepo in the chat. We've got Kohai with us tonight. Hello, hello, hello. Larry, I see you there. We have Suka. Ahoy Zillage, ahoy yourself, Landho. We've got BTK in the chat. Hello, man. We've got Jacob Gallo. And so far, that's everybody. As you trickle in, let us know in the chat, and I will acknowledge you by bringing it up on the screen here. We are live on YouTube, Twix, and Rumble, so any one of those places will do. Meantime, settle in. We're going to enjoy ourselves tonight. Larry, what we got?
Yeah, so tonight, guys, I'm gonna say it. Tonight is not going to be a long one. The reason being is our partner Devil. Sure, you guys probably know. He's got a 12-hour stream going. He's trying to, he's working hard to get some subscribers. I think he's got a
Hey, Bink.
I think he's going to a meetup in Vegas, and so we're both scheduled to be on there, at some point, and we want to make sure that we support our friend because that guy works and he works late and he comes straight. He goes when he gets home, he comes straight on to our show. So we want to reciprocate that. But we do have something this week. I mean we've of course we've got a couple of some infamous news articles, but one of them caught my eye, and I started doing research on it, and I'll explain why. In fact, I'm gonna segue our show right into it because I just thought it was so interesting. At first, I was laughing at the guy, and then I realized I was like, oh, what? Actually, this isn't this kind of has a story with it. Now, I will tell you guys this. One of the stories is very serious. We've got some that are, of course, wacky as usual, but there was one that was pretty serious. And I made a promise long ago not to shy away from some of the more difficult articles. But tonight we've got a little something. We've got a haunted destination, so to speak, and we're gonna go through that, and then that's gonna be the night for us.
All right. Sounds good, man. Sounds good. Beak, welcome in. I think I said something out loud, but I honestly don't recall. So I'm saying it now.
I thought you did.
I thought I did too, but now, you ever say something and then like 10 seconds later, you're like, shit, was that just in my head?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I felt like. So I was just like, I'm just making sure Beak knows that I see him.
Beak is everywhere, man. I think last week when a certain feline was on another program, I could have sworn I heard her say Beak's name.
Yeah, yeah. I've seen Beak popping up in all kinds of places lately. He gets around, and as Sasquatch says, you haven't made it on YouTube unless Beak's in your chat. So
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And I'm also gonna let me do a couple of announcements before I leave. Before we leave and I forget. So, still working on the channel. I am working on a story right now that I'm going to record and then and uh and put up. Probably gonna do like two in a row, and then I've got to edit them because I'm gonna add some special effects to them. So this weekend I'll be a tinkering because I've got some new stuff to work on for my channel. And then the choose your own adventure story that's coming along. I'm almost done with it. Um, I might have to do a rewrite with a certain part. I'm not sure yet, or just take it out altogether. I might just take it out. Um, and then give it some polish, and then we'll have a day. We'll put that out. Um, the next trivia will be, I'm gonna call it world at large, but it's gonna be, various things about the world, uh, different countries, whether it be laws or ghost sightings or things like that. You name it. History. So I want that one to be pretty interesting. Also, we've got I think at the end of the month we are going to do a deep dive into a movie. So we're gonna go through the special effects and stuff like that. I know we normally talk about movies every once in a while. Speaking of which, sidebar, I actually got around to finally watching Nosferatu.
Oh, I haven't seen that one yet.
I know people that loved it so much that they actually went and saw it somewhere around 3 to 5 times. I I just couldn't get into it. I
Yeah,
just
I've heard mixed reviews on that one just because I think it has more to do with tastes rather than whether or not it's like a well-made film.
it's it's well made with the ambiance and everything. Don't get me wrong, but I don't like how I'm like Count Orlok is supposed to be a vampire. He just to me just strikes me as a madman that's got a taste for human flesh.
Yeah, like I said, I haven't seen it yet. When I do, I'll be more than happy to discuss like details and stuff with you. But from what
Yeah, I'm
I've
not gonna ruin
heard,
it for you.
well, I mean, I know the basic story. It's based on an old black and white silent film that was a direct ripoff of a play based on Bram Stoker's Dracula. But
No,
uh,
no, I'm not talking about the story itself. It's just the way that it was. It's just I can't explain it. I could not get into it, and it was
right.
boring. The pacing was boring. I was like, I can't do it. I was like, I can't
Yeah,
do
and
it.
that might have been it. The guy who directed this was Roger Eggers, and he has a tendency to get like real art house with his stuff. Like, did you see The Northman?
No.
Okay, so that's one of his. So is this movie called The Witch that I haven't seen, but Joker Voice recommended to me. But they tend to be more atmospheric and like less telling a I want to say linear story and more of a
Mhm.
like a surrealist kind of thing. I don't know. That's sort
That's
of the vibe I
exactly
was
what he
getting.
did. That's
Yeah.
exactly what he did.
Hey, Aaron, Laura. Yeah, and I haven't
Suka
seen The
fell
Witch.
asleep.
Did you?
Suka said
um,
he fell asleep. And you
yeah,
know
see,
what, Suka? And guess what? You ain't the only one. I nodded off a couple of times too.
Yeah. Well, I'll probably enjoy it myself because what I have seen of his work, I really liked. I liked The Northman quite a bit. I was really engaged in that, but I understand where it could turn some people off because of the way it's told. And I haven't seen The Witch, but like I said, JV's been telling me that I need to see it for a while now. But it's a different kind of movie making, I guess. I've also heard from other people like our friend Horror Amarada really didn't like how sexual it was, which I haven't seen it, so I don't have any
Yeah,
basis to judge that yet.
no,
But
no, I'm not gonna ruin it for you, but that's one of the things that really put me off because I was just like, Bram Stoker's Dracula. Okay, and I know it's a sidebar, hell, and honestly, even with what we have planned tonight, actually, I don't even care if we just talk tonight. I really don't care. Tonight's one of those nights for me. Here's the thing, Bram Stoker's Dracula, and I'm talking about the Francis Ford Coppola version. Gary Oldman, as savage as he was as a vampire, when Mina fell in love with him, you believed it. The guy was smooth, he was cunning, he had charisma. You know what I mean? And he had so much charisma that he could he was likable in spite of what he was doing. So it was like one minute you were pissed at him and disgusted at what he was doing, especially to Lucy. But then
mhm.
in the same respect, you loved his character. And when Mina fell in love with him, you believed that she could fall in love with him. You take a look at Count Orlok and you see the stuff that he does. And I'm supposed to believe that this girl has a strong sexual attraction to him and attracted to the guy. Well, okay, I'm not gonna throw out any details. I almost did,
Well,
but
I
it's
know what
just
he looks like.
it's it.
He's not pretty.
Let me, let me it's not just that, it's his attitude, it's the way he talks. He's not relatable. And I was like, no woman would fall in love with a guy like this. Not even ain't no spell in the world powerful enough to do that. The man looks like Ivan the Damn Terrible to me. I'm just looking at him, I'm like, he looks like a angry Russian oligarch, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
That's vampirized. And I'm just listening to the way he's talking and stuff and he's stomping around and just angry. And I'm looking at him like I could tell this guy's a virgin. I mean,
Yeah.
just sexually frustrated, you know? And I was like, what in the I'm supposed to I'm supposed to believe that this woman falls in love with this guy. I'm supposed to believe this.
This kind of sounds like a MGTOW incel's wet dream.
Oh man. And then he looks older than a sack of dirt. His face looks like it's just like I don't know. His face looked like somebody went back and got back into claymation, and then just
Yeah. So
I was
have you seen the original?
no other than the few seconds from when Count Orlok looks up at the screen. I would take that one versus this one.
No, fair enough. So in the original version, because like in the novel and in the stage plays and all that they ripped it off from, like, Dracula's presented very much how he appears in the Francis Ford Coppola version. He's very, aside from when he's in his old form and his bestial forms, he's very handsome and he's very smooth and suave and debonair. I mean, he acts like royalty because he is. Um, Whereas Orlok, they took a different direction with that, and the reason that they did that was to kind of emphasize, without actually saying it, because 1920s, um, the rapey undertones of the whole thing. So they made him really ugly, and the idea was that despite his hideous form, his powers of like persuasion and mind control and hypnosis were so great that the woman was drawn to him despite her revulsion.
Well,
Was the whole thing, but that was in the original. I don't know how well they did in
oh
this one.
no, no, no. That's exactly what they did. I just
Yes,
couldn't
Aaron.
get into yeah, more like Count Hemlock. I could not do it. I was just like, I understand that this man has magical powers, persuasion, and all that, but even with that, it just wasn't believable to me. I was just like, there's no
Mm,
way. Especially, and it's not just the way he looked. It was what he represents, and she knew what he represents, and the stuff that she was seeing, before she even meets him in person. There's no way. Okay, for example, remember when in Dracula and Bram Stoker's Dracula, when the three guys rushed in to save Mina, and they saw Dracula, and he turned into a bunch of rats and then dropped to the ground.
Oh yeah,
Imagine,
that's one of
okay,
my favorite scenes, dude.
yeah,
See what your God has done to
imagine,
me. Yeah, that seems great.
imagine if Mina was just seeing visions of that before she even meets him. That's all she's seeing.
Hmm.
Dead people everywhere. This guy just as a hideous monster, not even a hideous monsters, all kinds of stuff. Zombies. You name. He's walking. You and she's seeing this, and she knows what he represents. There's no in the world that you can convince me that his powers of persuasion is so strong that she will be drawn to him in spite of what this girl was seeing. This girl was having nightmares about this guy and literally jumping out of her damn bed,
Uh,
screaming for help. And I was supposed to believe she's in love with him.
I see where you're going with this, and I probably agree with it. Like, after let me watch the movie, and we'll talk again about this. But
Yeah.
it kind of sounds like you're describing the difference between Ted Bundy and Harvey Weinstein. Both of them had women attracted to them, but for very different reasons.
Well, I don't think the
You know,
women were attracted to Harvey. I think they were just trying to get a damn
they
job.
were attracted to his power.
He could get them work.
Yeah, because he had power. Yeah. And that's
But
kind of what I'm getting from this too, is like she's not
no,
attracted so much to him as she is to his power.
nope,
She's drawn in by it.
nope. It's not. Go go watch the movie. You'll see exactly what I'm talking about. It's just the way that they did it. It just
Yeah.
was not believable to me.
Yeah, well, I
Just
mean, I definitely
just
plan
wasn't.
to. It's one that wasn't something that I had made enough time in my own schedule to do lately. And that and the fact that I was practically unconscious for the last 2 days. So I could have watched it then, but I couldn't stay awake. You know.
Mm. No, I got it. I get you. All right. Well, on to the entertainment. We'll get to what we can get to, because folks, I promised Sam that we would do a 1 hour hard cutoff, because he sounds well, but the man the man is still he's still hurting. So and believe it or not, I'm
Larry
feeling better.
says as he coughs his lungs out.
Yeah, I still got a cough. Um, I know we've talked about this before, but it came back. I thought it was old, but
Oh,
apparently, yeah.
that's why you said entertainment. I knew you said that. Oh man, I knew this was coming.
No, I was just saying entertainment.
It
I
sounded
wasn't
like you
saying
said
turd.
entertainment.
No. No, if I had thought about it, I would have said it. But no. No, I actually now I'm pissed off because I didn't think about it. But look, we this isn't new. This whole poop pill thing, I first heard about this probably about 10 years ago. It is a practice that's been going on here in America. I don't know how widespread it is, but apparently, um, in Canada, a small number of Canadian cancer patients are testing a pill that contains healthy bacteria from human poop to see if it can extend their lives. Now, in contrast to this, I want to say it was the South Koreans a few weeks ago. They discovered a way to turn cancer cells into regular cells, and it looks like it's on track to being an alternative form of treatment, than radiation or chemo. So it looks promising to actually literally reverse cancer. Um, but apparently, these guys, so Pancreatic cancer has a poor survival rate of
Looking at
approximately
that.
10% over 5 years. Wow, I didn't know pancreatic cancer was. Wow. I think that's lower than breast cancer, and breast cancer is no joke. But
Yeah.
it says through this study, they aim to offer a new, innovative treatment to patients. Now, I don't know who. I guess if you have cancer, and God forbid I ever get it. I mean, hell, don't tell me what's in it. Cancerous tumors are believed to have a collection of bacteria, viruses, and fungi that help the disease defend itself from treatments like chemotherapy. Well, I believe that. Um, let's see. Early studies suggest that fecal transplants delivered via an oral capsule known as LND 101 could alter microbial composition of tumors and make the body better able to fight off advanced pancreatic cancer. Uh,
Ugh. I mean, yay, but also the whole fecal transplant thing's not a new thing. The pill form might be, but because they
yeah,
used to just stick like a turkey baster up your butt, you know.
yeah, and then squeeze somebody's poop into your butt track.
Yeah.
Or the other way too is that they performed stomach surgery and just took a frozen turd and put it into your small intestine.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, they could go in that way too. I just, I don't know. The whole thing, like the idea is that you take the healthy biomatter from somebody who's got a really good, healthy system, and you transplant that into somebody who's got a less healthy system, and supposedly the good bacteriums and poop related things um, kind of take over and fix that person. That's generally the idea of it. I This is one of those things though, dude, like who was the first person who was just like, "Hey, you know what might be a really good idea if I take some of your poop and put it in my butt?"
I don't know who came up with this, man. I don't know who came up with it, and I don't know why. But I tell you what, no, I mean this seriously. And I mean, even looking at this, and you can see in this article how they're trying to convince people it's odorless. That scat from healthy donors is processed in the lab to make odorless, tasteless, odorless pills. That doesn't make me feel better because I know what it is. But what was I gonna say? Uh, what was I getting ready to go into? I forgot just that fast. I forgot just that fast.
I got nothing.
Uh, it's just I don't know, man. I just okay. Now I remember. If I was faced with a situation like this, the main thing I would have to ask the doctor is I would say, hey, if I have no other choice, I need to be able to pick the person. You know how people go on, you know how you have people test, to see if they are a match for a kidney or something like that. I'd be like, I would have to pick the person. I couldn't swallow a pill, and I don't know, this could be some guy's poop.
Wait. So you're saying that you would rather know whose poop this is?
Yes,
Why? Because then you got to look that person in the eye.
I don't. I would rather know who saved my life, and because I tell you right now, if I've got to do it, if I have to swallow a pill, somebody's poop pills, it is not going to be a man.
Oh man.
Period. I have a lot of female friends. I'm making at least one phone call. And I know the
I
first person I'm calling because we've already had this discussion off camera, and you know who I'm talking about. And they already said that if it actually came down to it, they would actually do it.
Yeah, I don't know if it works like that exactly because it like don't male and female systems have like slightly different you know bacteriums and shit.
I don't think they're cleaning it and screening it and doing stuff with it. I think excuse me. I think they've gotten around that barrier. Otherwise, they would mention it. It's just
Vermectin. Shh. Lol.
I'm just I know you wouldn't want to know, but it would drive me nuts not to know because I would wonder it could be some guy, it could have been some 70-year-old man. I'd
Yeah.
rather know.
I
I'd
I
rather
no.
know, and I'd rather it not be a man.
No, dude, I would never want to know because I would never speak of it again. Right? People would be like, "Oh, hey, you seem to have bounced back really well from that bout of pancreatic cancer. You look real great. Things are going well. How'd you do that?" And it's like, gosh, must have been a miracle. Who knows? And that's as
I
far
guess
as I'm going to take that conversation.
I can still I can still say it. I can still I don't care. Like I said, I would rather know who saved my life because if I'm faced with pancreatic cancer and this person made that quote donation to save my life, I'd want to be able to look them in the eye and say thank you every day. I wouldn't care about that. Now I wouldn't bring, of course, I wouldn't bring it up every time I saw him. Be like, hey, uh, thanks for your donation. You've been eating a lot of corn, haven't you? No, of course not. But it would drive me nuts. I would be wondering whose poop did I just swallow? It could be a guy. They could have put a fast one and put a Chihuahua's in there. You don't know.
Listen to what you just said.
I
Whose
listened
poop
to
did
it.
I swallow?
That's what you're doing. I'm just being blunt.
Oh man. Yeah, it's what pancreatic comes cancer comes for me, guys out there. I mean, I know y'all love us up here and all that stuff, but I'm gonna let death take me first.
You go right ahead. Me, me. I'm placing a phone call to my friend and I'll be like, "Hey, I'm gonna have to take you up. I'm gonna have to take you up on your offer."
Lapel makes a good point. Too much money in treatment. This is real. It's going to get lost, or it's going to get real expensive. Yeah.
Well, like I said, if I have to make the choice, at least I'm controlling some part of my destiny. Let's go. Now let's see. The pills have already shown promise in advanced melanoma, lung cancer, and renal cell carcinoma. The LHSCRI researchers said, and they hope to achieve similar success in late stage pancreatic cancer. Ugh.
Yeah. I'm just going to leave this chat up on the screen for a minute so it really sinks in for everybody.
I don't care.
Aaron gets it.
Aaron's scaring everybody. Let's see. Nobody, it's surprised nobody's responded to the story. You did. I thought about it, but my comment will probably get rejected. Incorrect.
uh,
Huh?
old blindy. You're talking to two guys up here, one of whom is married and the other one who used to be married. That is a lie. Women do poop, and it smells bad.
They definitely do, and pounds.
Yeah.
So, and sidebar on that too. You never find when you join the military, you really find out, especially when you have cleaning assignments. Boy, yeah, you think girls fart rainbows? No, they don't. They don't. Trust me.
Hashtag thanks, Larry. Don't make me laugh too hard. Big shit still hurts.
Uh, all right, next one. So I'm willing to bet. Now there's a big hunt going on about this. I'm willing to bet that it was a kid that did it. I'm willing to bet. Now I don't know who who the authorities are running around looking for him. I'm sure it was a kid that did this. I'm sure of it.
Is this a real thing?
Yes, this is real. This
Well,
re-
I asked because there was a Netflix mockumentary like 5 or 6 years ago about somebody doing exactly this.
that's probably where they got the idea. And think about it. When was the last time that you saw or heard, or it was actually, to be more accurate, when was the last time that you saw news being reported
Night, Old
on
Carol. Thanks for coming.
something that was reported but is not real, but was actually suggested? I'll wait. And then this is the actual question I'm asking you. Think about it.
All right, run that by me again real quick.
Okay. When was the last time that you saw the news report on something that happened because someone watched something that was about the very thing that was actually done in real life and the news reported on? Do you need me to rephrase that?
No. I got you. I'm trying to think now. Are we talking? What kind of scale are we talking?
What do you mean by scale?
I mean, global pandemic comes to mind.
Not that big.
Okay. Um,
This is within the confines of the United States.
I'm sure something's happened. Nothing's coming to mind right now. Hmm. I don't know.
I'll show you right now.
Right. Yeah. Didn't South Park start this trend?
Yes. South Park, yes, South Park did a TV show, and then some people made a Facebook group, and they decided that Kick a Ginger Day was now a real day, and suggested that people do what Cartman said. And when November 20th hit, redheaded kids were going to school. Remember, we talked about this last year. Redheaded
Mhm.
kids went to school and started getting kicked in their ass left and right. One kid, especially that one kid they talked to, that literally got kicked down the street by his friends, by his so-called friends. As soon as he hadn't even walked inside the street. They were outside the school waiting on him, and they kicked that poor kid down the street. Kicked him down the street.
I've also got a short on the channel from last year where you said to our friend Kenzo, November 20th rolls around, I'm gonna kick that door down. It's like it's kick a ginger day, motherfucker.
Yeah, and I would have if he wasn't so far away. Man likes it rough anyway. He probably would have liked it. We need to get Kenzo back on here.
Yeah, yeah, we definitely do. Aaron Laura, that is not how slurs work. I'm sorry.
But yes. All right. So let me get us back on the topic. Um, but I am very certain. I believe that a kid did this. Let's see. The Germans are Germany. Okay, scratch that.
I
It
mean,
was
that could be
Clifton.
anybody.
It was Clifton.
Like, dude, it's Germany. That whole country's perverse.
It was
But
Clifton.
from the young to the very old.
It was Clifton. It was a young man named Clifton 3D. The Germans are involved in another Battle of the Bulge. Authorities are attempting to cover up a giant penis that was erected on the rooftop of a school in Berlin. The doppelwanger had reportedly been painted on top of the Free Waldorf School in Kreuzberg district back in 2022.
Hold up a second. El Perro, is this a serious post? Did you seriously get that news? Because if so, congratulations,
Yeah,
brother.
congratulations, man.
That's awesome. And also,
Straight
fuck
up.
lung cancer.
Exactly. Yeah,
Hell yeah.
congratulations, man.
Yeah. Good deal.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. That's right. A 65 feet long. The Titanic tallywhacker is so big. I haven't heard that. I don't think I was 10 years. I don't think I was 10 last time I heard that word. It's so big that it's visible on Google Maps. Well, that's obvious. Despite its massive size, the not safe for work street art is fairly Spartan, entailing a simple and sketchy white outline, like a chalk drawing of a deceased phallus. Deceased? I don't know.
Diseased.
It says deceased.
Well, they probably spelled it wrong.
'Cause I was thinking disease, but I was just like deceased. Okay.
I mean, there's two different ways of. I mean, maybe one is gangrenous, right? But it's still alive. But a deceased
Well,
phallus is dead.
yeah, it should be dissolved. And if it's gangrene, I mean, it should be green. Perhaps the great talent of the artist lies dormant in the field. I still think it was Clifton. German outlet Bill snarked while reviewing the dirty graffiti. I'm gonna message him after we get off. I'm gonna ask him too. Clue, what's going on, Clue? Whether this magnum opus was the work of a street artist or students is yet unclear. However, authorities have attempted to paint over the edges of the half-baked attempt to cut a long story short. Alas, the shape of the sex organ remains very discernible on the roof of the Waldorf School, which specializes in an education system developed in the 1900s by Austrian social reformer Rudolf Steiner. The school's website says the institution offers, quote, young people space to develop their creativity, their free thinking, and their individual personality. A kid definitely did that. A student at that school definitely did that. Kreuzberg is alternative, diverse, and always on the move, and so are we as a school community. Unfortunately, the world has seemingly devolved into a game of phallic whack-a-mole of late, with penile representations cropping up everywhere from fields to GPS and even flight paths. The symbolic sausage fest recently reared its head in Italy, where the appearance of an enormous veiny penis sculpture outraged the online masses, who labeled it disgusting and a piece of crap. I think we reported on that, either that or
Yeah,
our past
yeah, but they did not have to write it as enormous and veiny. They could have just said enormous.
Mm. They could have, but I think the person who did the person who wrote the article couldn't resist it being tongue in cheek.
Yeah, that's one way to put it. Yeah, that's I don't know, man. Look, if it's kids, then kids will be kids. Like that's actually kind of impressive on that scale. Uh, I don't even know if I could be mad at something like that if it was like a building I owned or whatever. It'd be just like I want to know how they did this.
I mean, me too. I mean, 65 feet.
It's pretty big. It's pretty big. That's it's like those I forget what they're called exactly, but those like carvings in the earth that you can see from like 20,000 feet up, but you can't see shit when you're standing on them.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's almost to that scale.
And the fact that it was straight, like, of course, it was anatomically correct, but that thing was straight. There wasn't any curves, no hooks, no nothing. It was
Mhm.
straight.
Yeah, that
That had to be a kid at that school, and they planned that. They probably did it in the middle of the night.
if they did it in the middle of the night, it's probably more than one person doing it. They probably had a whole
Oh yeah,
team up there.
yeah. It was probably a group. That's what I'm thinking. It was a group of kids.
Roofing line safe enough. I mean, yeah, I don't know. That's probably why they got away with it. The Secret Service couldn't get up there.
I guess. I mean, it's Germany, like you said. I still think it was Clifton 3D, and I think he had help.
Uh, Zill's just asking, what was it made of? I missed that detail.
We don't know. I don't know if it was paint or what.
Like, yeah, probably some kind of some kind of paint that would show up at a distance with like minimal light kind of thing, something reflective. BTK, I think, is probably right. It's probably latex.
Hmm. Like a phallic
Yeah.
iceberg in dildo Canada.
So what I think is hilarious is that not only is there really a place called Dildo Canada, but it's near a place called Spread Eagle.
Oh, I'm sure that's a coincidence.
No. That whole area, like the actual bay that they're all on. I forget what it's called off the top of my head, but it's also something ridiculous like Conception
Vendover
Bay or
Bay,
some shit. Oh, it's
Vendover
Conception, I think.
Conception. Yeah, yeah. That whole it's all a big veiny thick coincidence
Yeah,
that'll take a long time to untangle.
yeah.
Conception
I,
Bay.
I think I made a post in the community tab on that last year at some point when I found out that that was actually a series of real place names in Canada.
Hmm.
It's in
Great.
Newfoundland. Yeah, that explains it. Just Scottish assholes.
LOL. All right, the next one. So this is the serious article that I was talking about. At first, I just thought this was just like an oddity, and then just before we went on, I just happened to go back and look at the details. What in the world happened? Oh, there we go. Um, I want to pause it and brings up another screen. So you can't even pause this thing without it actually bringing up a separate screen. So a minor in a landlocked country, Lesotho. I've never heard of it, but it's
Um, I know where it is.
okay.
Lesotho and Swaziland are both countries that are inside the borders of South Africa, but they're separate sovereign nations. Both of them are surrounded by South Africa on all sides. They're very,
Okay,
very small. They're like Luxembourg or the size, give or take. They're very
gotcha.
small countries.
Okay, well, so this 15-year-old was admitted to the hospital um, with abdominal pain. She finds out she's pregnant. Problem is that the doctors couldn't figure out how she got pregnant because she has a disease. She has a rare vaginal disease to where her vagina doesn't have an opening. It's There's no opening, so they don't know how this girl got pregnant.
I don't
To
know.
it's a rare not disease, a birth defect called vaginal atresia. Um, to make a long story short, what happened is she was dating a guy. She dumped him for another guy, and then was talking on his mic, so to speak. And while she was talking on her new boyfriend's mic and giving him oral dictation, the ex-boyfriend walks in, sees it, blows up, grabs a knife and attacks her. As she finished, what the doctors
Oh,
what the doctors found out was that what no she what the doctors found out was, I guess, as she was finishing it, because she got stabbed in the stomach, right?
yeah, that'll do it.
And the wounds were deep enough that the guy's sperm, when it dripped down her mouth, it got into the cuts where she was stabbed. And they said because she was also malnutrition, there wasn't enough stomach acid to kill the sperm. So the sperm got into her stomach through her stab wounds, and she got pregnant that way.
Yeah, that'll do it. I mean, the stomach and the uterus are not, exactly connected. So, like, this had to have been like it wasn't a single cut that did it. Did she get stabbed more than once?
She got stabbed more than once. She lived.
Okay.
She lived.
S-
She had she brought the baby to term. They had to do a C-section.
Yeah. So probably what happened was the knife went in to the stomach and got some of it on it, and when it came back out and went in again, it went into the uterus. How the hell is she going to give birth? Like they're going to have to do C-section, right?
They already did. She had the baby.
Ah,
They did a C-section.
yeah. Yeah, that's a tough kid.
No, hold on. I'm sorry. I got it wrong. I'm reading it. They're saying no. It's not. They're saying that the sperm that got her pregnant, it was a sperm that she swallowed. So it wasn't all over her face. She swallowed it all. That's what they're saying.
Yeah.
And I guess whatever he stabbed her, it was so deep that it gave the sperm a route to get into her stomach to get to her, to get wherever it needed to get because of the wounds.
Yeah.
That's what the article say.
Yeah, it still strikes me that probably the way it was probably most likely transferred was actually on the blade itself if she was stabbed more than one time.
I don't know. I don't know, but the doctors were able to find out that it was a sperm that because she swallowed it all.
Yeah. That's can you imagine that? I mean, bad enough you got stabbed,
Yeah,
right? And now you got you it's not just your life you're fighting for.
right.
All of a sudden. Although I'm sure she wasn't aware of, what had transpired inside her right at that moment. She's probably more worried about not bleeding out. Um, she's very lucky that she didn't have enough internal damage to do her in.
Hmm.
So yeah, Aaron Lawrence saying I don't buy it. It does seem kind of far fetched, but I have heard of some very very wacky shit in this world, including this this chick out in the middle of the desert about 2,000 years ago. You know, saying if some of y'all believe that shit happened, so you know, um, I don't know. Maybe it did, maybe it didn't. But either way,
Well,
that's a
it
wild
says
story.
I'm looking down at the bottom. The case which they so this is even new. Why would they report this as current news? The case which dates back to 1988 was detailed in the British Journal of Obstetrics and Gynecology. So this really happened. It is documented.
It's published in a medical journal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I see why. It says it resurfaced because of a recent report of a Scottish woman who thought she had a burst appendix only to find out she was pregnant and gave birth 40 minutes later.
Huh. Yeah, I don't know. There's some weird shit that happens out there. Just just man, his face and his only begotten. Jesus Christ, there.
Yeah, this is. I mean,
Look, if this indeed is factual and it actually happened, then I'm glad she survived, and I'm glad the kid is
it's in an
gonna.
established journal, man. It's not a. It's.
Yeah,
I mean, they're not lying. It's documented.
yeah. So,
Right.
but yeah, no, it's good that she lived. But what is it with
Aaron,
underdeveloped countries and stabbing kids? I don't. I just,
Aaron.
oh, I already brought that up. That's why I was choking on my laughter a minute ago.
I didn't see. I was looking at the article. Um, all right, this last one now. This is the one that caught my eye. Really caught my eye. So this guy goes on vacation, finds out he is the only guest at a resort on a cursed island. Let's,
Oh,
let's
he's
go
a
ahead.
human sacrifice for sure.
Let's see what he has to say.
Chicos, llevo 2 días durmiendo en un resort de lujo abandonado y me acabo de enterar ahora. Tenemos una playa privada donde podemos ver el atardecer súper bien, restaurante propio donde estamos solos, una piscina donde no hay absolutamente nadie, una pista de tenis súper abandonada, hecha polvo y con vistas a la playa. La habitación sí que no tiene desperdicio, o sea, es raro, 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 ¿eh? La Gold 5, no veis que es lo desordenada que está. El problema está en el baño.
Because of the music.
Hmm.
Broken light bulbs on. By the way, you know that IC video that you have to cut because of the copyrighted music. I saw a
Mhm.
YouTuber with over 1 million subscribers. He posted a video today on Barack and Michelle Obama, and he played that sucker in its entirety, and YouTube didn't take his channel. It didn't take his channel down.
He probably makes YouTube money. I don't.
Yeah.
You know?
Even though he played a copyrighted song, I was like, and I even messaged him. I said, "Hey man, you might want to take that down because if you haven't gotten hit yet, you're gonna." But it was funny because you know what he was saying was that Barack's really gay, and then
Yeah.
he took a photo of Barack and Michelle, that photo of them at dinner somewhere for the anniversary, and they got their arms stretched out and they're holding hands. He switched their faces so that Barack was wearing the dress, and then he called Michelle Mike.
Yeah. I think I don't necessarily disagree with that sentiment, and I think that trolling those fuckers is a lot of fun. But I also think if you're a much higher profile person, you got a lot more chance of ending up like their fucking gardener or cook or whatever the fuck they found floating in their pool.
Mm-hmm.
you know, um, so I don't think copyright's probably not that high on his list of worries.
Oops.
you know,
Hold on. I accidentally took that screen down. Let me put it back up. But yeah, no,
so
it was just. I mean, I was laughing. I was laughing. I couldn't believe that guy did that. I was like, man, if the Obamas don't get you, the people who own that music side soundtrack will. Because he was like, it's funny how they own two mansions and their mansions are 3,000 miles apart. And now you're seeing Barack Obama. He's going all over the place, and Michelle's nowhere with him. He was at a basketball game, and Michelle wasn't with him. It was like, yeah, it's funny how they're not going anywhere together anymore. And I was like, who cares?
yeah,
Big Mike. But
yeah.
with any event, um, so he said, guys, I've been sleeping on an abandoned luxury resort for 2 days, and I just found out now. So he didn't know that the damn island is cursed. He had no idea that the island's cursed. The spine tingling locale is Siquidor, or Sicker Liquor, whatever it's called. A remote island in the Philippines known for a mecca of witchcraft and folk healing, as well as a haunting ground for evil spirits. So he traveled there for some fun in the sun. But after 2 nights in the paradise, Holgado discovered that he had the Palatial Hotel to himself, aside from some workers, like a tropical version of Stephen King's iconic horror novel, The Shining. We entered and saw that the place was huge like Disney, but there was nothing. There was only employees in the restaurant. Okay. Some of these abandoned yet pristine amenities, per the apocalyptic seeming clip, included a private beach, derelict tennis court, a pool, and with no one else, and the resort restaurant where he dined solo each night were serenaded by staff singers. Alas, Holgado's room was decidedly more decrepit. In the footage, he demonstrates how the toilet didn't flush while the bathroom lacked a door. The resort had opened 6 years ago before suddenly shuttering, per the content creator who said it had since reopened but was still undergoing renovations. So, as I did some digging, they are rebranding the island. They're rebranding the island as a vacation hotspot, and apparently it's been working, which is probably why they're doing some updates over there. I even saw a travel company um, that was advertising, and it literally said the company even said it was like, oh, the evil spirits and the witchcraft and everything. That's old news. Don't worry about that. Come over here and come to the island, and we got all this sun and sand and da 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 da. And I was just like, wow, they just blew through that. Let's see. Here's a quote. Um, Evil spirits are all around us in the waterfalls, forests, and seas. Local guy Luis Nathaniel Boronigan told BBC. And if we intrude upon them, they may take revenge in the form of illness, curses, or even death. Disease is also believed to be caused by witchcraft practices ranging from voodoo dolls to the manipulation of insects to harm people and their crops. To warn off these phantom menaces, Filipino pilgrims flock to the so called Mystic Island in droves to seek out the island's unique healers. The remedies combine Catholicism and shamanic practices such as potion making and exorcism. It's not just locals seeking some mystical medicine. International
That's
what?
that's that's just Indonesian Filipino voodoo is what that is. That's how
Yeah.
voodoo got started too. It started with Catholicism and local native beliefs. So did Santeria.
Hmm.
Yeah, don't mess with that stuff, folks. Stay away from this island.
Yeah, stay away from that. See, international travelers to the island just need to ask the tourist office or local taxi driver. They can show you where to find one. The healers believe their talents are a gift from God, so they're not just a select few, they are for everyone. Um, looks like that is it for that article.
Yeah, that's kind of nuts, man. That dude was invited, and he was the only person there, and they were buttering him up with all of this service and stuff. Yeah, he's definitely a human sacrifice.
That's what I was thinking.
Definitely, they're gonna sacrifice him to some dark, like islander god, and probably eat parts of him, and then put the rest on display. And they're gonna use that as a fetish to draw in more custom.
You know what? I bet you they're making a wicker man that they're gonna set him in fire in. They're gonna
Well,
sacrifice it.
that's more
They're
of a
gonna,
Scandinavian thing, but yeah.
they're gonna sacrifice him to Amira.
At least it'll be on TikTok.
Oh, great lioness! As we set fire to his booty hole, please
Yeah.
grant us some of your money and your Bentley.
Yeah. Well, so BTK, that's the funny thing about that. Like what you're talking about is something that we refer to in my side of the fence as biometrics, bio manipulation, that kind of thing, biofeedback. Um, that's actually not that difficult to do. It's all things give off an electromagnetic field. All living things do, and a lot of inanimate things do too. But so as far as like auras and stuff, that's like basic stuff. Where it gets really freaky is when they pull your heart out without actually breaking your chest skin. Dude. That's a whole other level of don't fuck with them.
Like a chest burster. Let's check this out.
Guys, I can't talk about Philippine folklore without talking about Siquijor. How this island got its name is actually pretty interesting. When the Spanish were sailing their galleons around the central Visayas, they noticed that at night there was a glow to this island, so they named it Isla de Fuegos. And because they were curious, they decided to visit the island, and they met a man on the beach who was limping around. The Spanish were curious, they asked him what the name of the place was, and he said Siquijor, because he thought that they were asking him what his name was. Because the Spanish had a hard time saying the D at the end of Siquijor, they pronounced it as Siquijor. Thus,
Siquijor, huh?
Well, that's one story. So what does this have to do with folklore? Well, it's beautiful for one. And among Filipinos, it is actually known as Filipino Witch Central. When the Spanish were sailing around the area, they would often get sick, so they would drop by Siquijor. Here, they learned of the traditional healing practices, which they dubbed as witchcraft. So they left Siquijor alone, and it was dubbed Island of Witches. And to this day, it still has that reputation. And the locals were able to preserve their traditional healing practices.
Yeah. Generally speaking, if there's an area, like you go to some new place in the world, you're on vacation or you're exploring or you're like a Tomb Raider or whatever, you go to a new place and the locals are telling you stay the fuck out because even we won't go there. And the locals are, people that you wouldn't want to piss off, right? Maybe listen to them. That's all I'm saying.
That's a good idea.
If they
look,
say stay away, stay away.
Those are voodoo dolls.
Yeah. That's a hard pass for me, dog.
Sam, you better hope that one of your ex-girlfriends aren't watching these videos.
Oh, I'm not afraid of them. No.
You should be if they get to the island and get their hands on one of these damn dolls.
Dude, you can get one of those dolls in like Louisiana.
You better hope they don't go to Louisiana.
Hell, I've got a couple of voodoo dolls lying around.
The hell are you doing with voodoo dolls?
You get
Wait a minute,
gifted
hold on.
things.
You're
It's
telling other people to stay away from this stuff, and you
I didn't
got
say
voodoo
I
dolls.
use them. I said I have them.
But you still, the fact is, you still have them.
I have a lot of different paraphernalia. I kind of collect stuff from all kinds of different faiths.
But you're gonna tell other people don't use them. You're using.
I don't use them. No, I don't use them, Larry. Having them in your possession is not the same thing as using them.
Well, you're using them for something, whether it be nostalgia, um, for your mood because you're a collector.
It's
You
not their
have them
intended
for.
purpose, though. And that's the point. Their intended purpose is to cause harm.
Suka's asking a good question.
No, I don't have a Larry doll. Most of mine are generic. They don't have anything. You actually have to tie something personal to it from whoever you're using it on, and it's not. This is not a practice
Wait
that I
a
care
minute.
to engage in. So
I sent you something last year.
yeah,
Something
and
that
it's
belonged
not
to me.
attached to any of my dolls. That's all I'm saying.
I'm starting to wonder because I have a very good immune system, and this year I've been getting sick left and right. I'm starting to wonder if you did do something.
I don't do shit like that. That's not. There's a reason I tell people not to do it. When I was young and dumb, I dabbled a little bit, and I learned my fucking lesson real quick.
I'm calling Amira as soon as I get off.
Well, you can call her all you like. It doesn't change the truth. No, I do not have Annabelle in my house. It's not that kind of doll.
Look at all these
So,
black dolls. You're gonna tell me that I know what these are for? Look, that's Zillage right there. That's Zillage. That's Clue.
I mean, yeah, Aaron brings this up too. It's like, yes, I am in fact pagan. I do have pagan things.
Well,
I've
voodoo is
also got an
pagan,
amethyst. I've also got an amethyst the size of your head. It's
but voodoo isn't pagan.
it very much is. It
So
very
then
much
you
is.
do have. So then you do have a reason for having a voodoo doll.
Well, pagan's a blanket term. That's like saying Christian when you're talking about Baptists, Lutherans, Mormons, Catholics, born agains, evangelicals. Like they're all different, right? But they all fall under that umbrella of Christian.
Okay, so are you the kind that uses voodoo dolls?
No, I generally don't go in for practical implements all that much.
Let's see. Here's another one. Where is? Look at that. That is definitely Zillage. No, that's Clue. That's definitely Clue.
I don't know. I thought Clue had both of his eyes.
One eye's closed. I mean, look at that. And actually, hold on. Let me go back. So, if you look at it, hold on. Doc on it.
The Cavatano coming into the chat, he knows exactly where those are from.
Okay.
I'm kind of being Filipino himself.
Okay.
I also welcome in.
Now, Cavatino, since you're Filipino, I'm going to explain. You see this angle, and you see how the doll's black. This is very anatomically correct. This is 100% correct. 100%. That's how Clue lost his eye.
What, sticking his own dick in it?
By accident. But you see, he learned his lesson because he's already been warned. He's already warned himself once. So this is what we have to deal with every day. This is the dangers of being an anatomically correct black male. This is what we have to deal with. Now, why Clue was stroking himself, I don't know. Maybe he was with a girl or something, and she got mad and smacked him in the eye with it. I don't know. But this was very good craftsmanship, and I have to wonder: did a black man go over there and model for this doll that you probably have in your home right now, Sam, that you claim you're not using?
No, mine are from the Caribbean. I don't have
Well,
anything from the Philippines.
I'll tell you what. If anything weird starts happening to me, like if I get struck by lightning or something, or if I wake up in the morning, go in the mirror, and find out that I've been turned into a cat, I'll know it was you.
I mean, first of all, that would be impressive as hell if somebody could turn you into a cat. Do you have any idea how much energy that would take? Like that's
No, but
that
I'm
kind of
sure you do,
transmutation is
Mister.
simply not possible within the bounds of
Well, I'm sure
the
you know,
rules of the
Mister
universe we
Voodoo
live in.
Man. I'm
That's what
sure
I'm
you
telling
know
you.
how
It
much.
can't happen.
Isn't that what your voodoo doll's for?
No.
Let's see what else. So this, and I actually watched this. So this is a guy doing his magic mojo on a vacationer. So I guess he like wrapped this person up, and then he wrapped her up, and I guess put some coals under under her chair or something to set her on fire. I don't know if he's trying to set her on fire or what. I don't know what he's doing, but there you go. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, so
Shut the fuck
that
up, BTK.
he's right. You do sound guilty.
No, I have done some really stupid things in the past when I was much, much younger. Before I was 20, actually. But no, I don't mess around with that stuff anymore. And the reasons that I tell people not to mess around with it is because I did and I paid for it.
How'd you pay for it? What's her name?
Not that kind of payment, dude.
Okay.
That's all I'm gonna say about it. Some
All right.
stuff is not stuff
Well,
that you talk about because you don't want to put that shit out in the ether.
I'm not gonna press, but I will show this. Now, this clip is of a boat that's going to that place. If I was a tourist, this alone would have stopped me. Look at the rocking. Look at that boat rocking. And they're rushing people to get on it. There's a different clip of you see more people still trying to get on it. Look at how that boat is rocking, man. And if I remember correctly, from this port to the island, it's about an hour ride. Imagine being on that for an hour.
Yeah, this boat's a rock and it's gonna sink.
Not to mention motion sickness. I mean,
It's like none of these people saw the Poseidon Adventure. You know where the cruise liner turns upside down?
yeah. Still, man. Ugh. Well, folks,
Hey, Cal.
that is it for us today. As we said, I mean, we're 8 minutes over, but I want to thank you guys. We want to thank you guys for coming through. Um, Next week we'll have some more stuff going. Next week, we will have Monsters Ball. Um, I would like to get a panel for it, considering who the opponents are. I think having a small panel would be great than just having you know um, a 10-minute discussion. You know, towards the end of our show. So we'll see what happens. Voodoo story. I don't know if I want to talk about that, Suka. Some
Yeah.
stuff, man, you start talking about it, you're inviting that stuff into your home.
So here's the thing, guys. I know some of you are probably curious about that, and it normally wouldn't have gotten brought up at all if Larry hadn't pressed the point about the fucking dolls. But there are powers that have nothing better to do than fuck with us They do exist. They're very real, and you do not want to draw their attention. So I am not going to speak about them by name or any of that nonsense. I'm not going to get into it about this stuff. Just you guys are going to have to be content with the fact that yes, I experimented with some shit that I should not have when I was in my youth, and I did pay for it. I'm not going to talk about how or why either. But just trust me on this. I know what I'm talking about. Don't fuck with it.
Hmm. Yeah, certain things you definitely want to leave alone. But yeah, so we will have something next week. We'll have a great show next week. At the end of the month, we're going to no, we're doing it. We're doing it on the thing, right? Because I'm going to
I
be
think so.
watching it tomorrow. Yeah, I'm
Oh
going to
yeah,
be.
yeah.
Yeah. So, but yeah, guys, we with that we're gonna be doing in depth, science fiction talk. We're gonna be, I'm gonna screenshot some stuff, and so we want to make it an actual, real good show for you guys, and not just a simple discussion. You know, so that's look for that at the end of the month. Um, the quiz will probably be the first week of April. That's what I'm looking at. And next month we will also choose your own adventure will also be coming along next month as well. And we will be doing another in-depth. I'm thinking the end of the month should be, the in-depth, dive into certain movies, you know.
Mhm.
That way we've got the whole month to watch it, plan it, pull it out, because certain things stuff needs to be put together, just like how I do the quizzes. People don't know, those quizzes, I literally start a week and a half, sometimes 2 weeks, prior to when I even, when we actually uh, play them. Uh, but with that said, guys, you can catch me here next week with my co-host Sammy the Infamous. You can catch me in the chat tomorrow as a moderator on the world famous Exile Lioness 2 channel if Amira goes on, which I suspect she probably will. Um, Other than that, and stay tuned. I keep saying, hey, I'm bringing stuff on my channel. I am working on stuff as we speak, because I do want to release. I don't want to just release one video. I want to do like two, and I'll probably do. I'll probably do a live like once a month. That's it. That's it for me.
All right. As for myself, we will be going over here in about an hour or so to Beelzebub. It's also happening on Dermy Wormy's channel, but I'm gonna probably just post the Beelzebub link because one of the things that they're doing over there is Devil. It needs subscribers, so he's shilling for subscribers. And if he gets to 500 tonight during this 12-hour stream they're doing, then he has to marry Dom H in Vegas, and they're gonna like film it and put it on the internet, and it's gonna be freaking hilarious because Devil really doesn't want to do that. Whole thing's basically humiliation ritual. Dermy's shilling for money, Devil's shilling for subs, that kind of thing. But should be a good time. So I am going to put the direct link to that stream in the chat if you guys are interested, because it's been going on for a few hours already now. If you're not, don't worry about it. But this way you'll know where we're going to be tonight. So otherwise, tomorrow we've got Screaming into the Void. We are going to be discussing a few different things, probably some news. I did hear some stuff about self-healing robotics, which puts me in mind of unkillable Terminators. So we'll probably be talking about that a little bit. And then, find me probably over on Exile Lioness 2 after that. Depending on how things go on Monday, I've got some personal stuff that work-related stuff that I might take up most of my night.
Samuel Cavatino.
Oh no, I won't. I'm not going to fucking Vegas. No.
Yeah. and by the way, I confronted Dom H about this on Vegas. I mean, on Kick. I said, hey, Dom, I heard you're getting married. He was like, I don't know what you're talking about, Larry. It's just a rumor.
Yeah, it's a whole thing. Anyway, kind of depends on how work goes next week, but should be on Mellow Mondays on Adam the Renaissance Nerds channel after that, and then right back here next week for Abyssal Musings. Thank you all for coming. Appreciate all of you for hanging out and all that stuff. I see my creator, you're coming in just as we're getting out, so we do appreciate you being here. Have a great night all, and remember, it could be worse. It could be rain and flaming cobras.